So, Ashlynn, you appeared in the controversial horror film The Human Centipede, and it's gained a pretty quick cult status. How has that sort of affected your life?
It's changed my life completely, I'll be honest with you. I didn't grow up watching a lot of horror films. I'm a huge scaredy cat when it comes to things like that. So I was just kind of thrown into the genre. When I auditioned for the film initially, I auditioned for a controversial European film. That's all I knew about it. So when I went into the audition, I read the synopsis and, was blown away at the creativity that this man had. Tom Six, the director. And I met his sister Alona and asked her a million questions. And we shot this film over 2 years ago in Holland. And since then, someone asked us today, like, how has your life changed? Like, what's been happening? And it's every moment is just different because it gets bigger and bigger. Like, it played here in Austin the first time in the U.S. and it won the Best Film Award here. And then same thing happened in LA, and then it happened in Canada, and then it happened like all over the world. We were winning awards just everywhere, and then IFC picks it up. And so it's just like this kind of like roller coaster ride that you keep going like over and over again because it's never ending right now. So all of us, Aki, Ashley, and I are really, really lucky to be here, and we're really thankful to like the whole horror community for just really embracing the film, because it's one of those films, as you guys know, it's either black or white. You're either going to love it or you're going to hate it, because it's not for everybody. It's really artistic, and it's kind of, a little out there. Some people get disappointed because it's not so, graphic, but we're really thankful that everyone has embraced it as much as they have, and yeah, we'll just see what happens next.
Excellent. So naturally, when someone appears in a horror movie that's kind of shocking, you tend to deal with some weirdos.
Yeah.
Do you have any, weirdo stories?
The weirdest thing that just happened recently was this guy, I can show it to you guys, it's ridiculous. This guy wrote me a letter on Facebook. And Facebook is like the mecca for stalkers. Like, it's just like, they can find you anywhere. And I friend everybody on Facebook. Like, I don't care who you are, be your friend. You can know my business. I don't have anything to hide. Because I want my fans to, be a part of my life, and I want to be a part of theirs, in the work that I do. So this one guy wrote me a letter saying he was from Egypt, and he said, your film is scarred my girlfriend. She hasn't eaten for 3 weeks. She has to go through psychological help. She's seeing doctors, all of this stuff. Like, your film is so disgusting and disturbing. I can't believe you'd make something like that. And so, me being the person that I am, I took his whole letter and I reposted it on my Facebook so everybody could read it. So, like, all the fans that, like, have seen the movie were like, oh my god, this guy's crazy. And everyone instantly wrote him back and was like, you have problems with your girlfriend that are deeper than this movie, obviously. It's not the movie's fault that your girlfriend hasn't eaten for 3 weeks. Like, you need to deal with that, besides writing me on Facebook, So it's people like that have, those are the weirdest stories I have. It's just people responding in a negative way towards the film. And they'll write you really negative or mean comments. And honestly, we all had just play a joke out of it. We're like, thank you so much for taking the time and caring so much to write me your negativity, because honestly, it just shows me that you really are a fan, because you have to sit down and write something about it. So it left an impact.
So what were some of the biggest challenges you faced during the production of The Human Centipede?
The biggest challenges, I think, overall, for all of us was, some people think it's like the physical demand of being on all fours, things like that, but we also, it was more just getting into the characters of each one of us, playing the individual roles that we had. Aki being Katsuro, and Ashley being Lindsay, and Jenny, just trying to develop as much character as you could with limited amount of dialogue, because for 2/3 of the film we don't talk, and so how do you portray a character who doesn't speak, and you still want to get across that she's like this kind of weak, naive girl who can't really defend herself and ends up in her predicament. And challenging was just working all together was a challenge, because we're all four different actors, but at the same time it was so inspiring to work with all of them. And Dieter, the doctor, was absolutely amazing to work with. He's a brilliant actor, and he stayed in character the entire time. He never broke character. He was very much like, you know, wanted to make sure we had that separation so that we were always in constant fear of him. And then at the wrap party, he came in and was just like, hey! And all of us were like, oh my god, he smiles. Like, what is going on? This is insane. And that was just amazing to work with an actor like that who's done as many films as he has done. Whereas it was my first feature film. It was Ashley's, and Aki's done a few and directed a few. So we all just took upon the challenge of just creating Tom's vision and doing it to the best of our ability.
So tell us about the new film, Fetch.
Oh, Fetch is a film that I recently just shot. I shot that earlier this year in Kansas City. Fetch is written by Trent Haga. He also wrote Dead Girl. He writes a lot of horror films. It's directed by C.M. Downs, and Dripping Dead Productions produced it. It is a story it's a huge love triangle. It's the story about a man named Clyde who is married to this woman, Starlene, and I play Starlene, his wife. And she is a drug-addicted stripper who hates her husband. They live in a very rural part of Kansas, very, very just poor part of the country. And he ends up, you know, being so twisted that he kidnaps this youth group of girls, and he tortures them and ends up killing them. And then he's taking out his revenge on those girls through, like, the revenge that he wants to have on his wife through killing those girls and hurting those girls. And then he ends up doing the same thing to me. So it's called Fetch because he kills the people by using his dogs. He's trained these insanely beautiful German Shepherds. I have a huge fear of dogs. I'm a huge scaredy cat when it comes to animals and dogs. So on set, when they were really having me like chained up in a barn with this dog barking at me, I'm crying real crocodile tears because I'm so scared to death of these dogs. But they were perfectly trained and wonderful. And it's a really artsy film. It's really cool. It'll be out, I think, at the end of the year. And I did see it premiere. They had a cast premiere in Kansas City a few months ago, and it was very good, and I was very excited to be a part of it. So, see what happens with it.
What do you have planned for 2011?
I have a secret film that I just did. I can't tell you anything about it, except that it will be out next year, and it will be very good. It's in the horror genre, again. So I'm kind of putting a, kind of cap on the horror stuff for now, because I've done 3 in a row, so I'm trying to, not be covered in blood so much. So hopefully I'm totally open to everything, and I told my mom, I was like, oh, doing another horror film, is really demanding, because people don't, people just think we run around and scream. But the thing about a horror film is when you do one, you start off, like, as in the Human Centipede, you're these laughing girls who go through this, like, oh, we're cute and bubbly, to, oh my god, what just happened, to, we're scared, to, oh my gosh, we've been totally, humiliated and demoralized as human beings. And you have to go through all of those emotions in one movie. And it's really intense. Whereas, like, you're on Comedy Central and you gotta be like, hey, And so it's a different type of, acting style. And I'm really, really happy that I started out in this genre. I'm really happy about everyone that I got to meet, like you guys, and just the fans and everybody. So we'll see what happens.
Do you have a message before we go?
Well, if you're in Austin, come see it tomorrow night. I don't know, I just want to say thanks to everybody who watched the film and who loves it. And if you haven't seen it yet, do. And then see what happens. Maybe you'll like it.
Great. Well, thanks a lot, Ashlynn.
Thanks.
Bye.
Bye.